Up next is the candidate for Secretary, Khai.
Good evening, I'm Khai. I'm going to be at Harvard. So just now have you talked about knowing how to, you don't have to know how to ballroom dance to come to Oxford. Brian said next year we are going to have a lot of gay dads. And surprise, surprise, I'm both of them. I'm currently doing ballroom dancing and I'm married to Henry. Yeah, so a bit of background on myself. I studied for 4 years in Singapore before coming over here. So I was actually a bit worried that I couldn't mix in well with the other Malaysians due to the difference in education background. Like Leon, Chen and Chen also studied in Singapore. So OUMC means a lot to me, and that's why I'm running for secretary. I have quite some experience as secretary before. I handled paperwork, I think, reasonably well, and quite detailed with my planning and stuff. So, and I also wish to support Henry and Brian because I agree with their visions. So I think the main role of the secretary that I will be doing will be mainly with the paperwork before the outreach. So I will set up the student blog. I will try to take over the outreach Facebook page, and as well as create the Twitter account so that we can constantly engage with the students back in Malaysia. Personally, I blog, Henry blogs, Brian also blogs. So I think we have quite a strong background for blogging. So and I will be in charge of overseeing this. And one more thing is a little project that I wanted to do as secretary, which I had in mind since infamous, is that I feel that even though we are in Oxford, we should be aware of what's happening back home. So we shouldn't be just wrapped in this little bubble. So I want to create a newsletter. So not the newsletter that Henry is talking about, is for a newsletter for internal circulation. So every 2 weeks, I hope to send out a newsletter to all the members, summarizing the news that's happening in Malaysia, and then invite everyone to contribute with comments and ideas. So this is one of the personal projects that I hope to implement. But as well, of course, I will still be supporting Henry's outreach. So prospectors, freshers guide, and pairing student applicants with current students. I believe I'll be able to do my job well.
All right, thank you. Questions for Khai?
Yes. Okay. So yes, according to the history of all our secretaries, including me, the secretary's job seems to be like a safeguard, just to remind whoever in the whole committee what's happening. It seems to be that kind of role within the committee. What do you think about such a role? That's my opinion of what a secretary, when I was doing my experience, tells me. So what do you think about it?
I believe secretary should be the one who's running all the paperwork, necessary paperwork, to support the main operations. So yeah, this is what I'm saying. Managing all the social account networks and doing the back.
So you will not see yourself more in a role where because I know the secretary handles all the minutes and so on. Essentially, you can be the person who tracks what's everybody doing in a sense.
Yes.
So if say the president forgets to do something, that's the role of at least in my opinion, the role of what a secretary should do, which is why the secretary's role is pretty heavy in a sense. So, I mean, what do you, on reflection on that?
I actually agree, but considering that most of our, I believe that we are quite a close group of committee members. I don't think there really needs to be an emphasis on this role of the secretary, as we are all working towards a common goal. Like we are sure of what we want. So I doubt that it's very unlikely. I doubt that it's likely that president will forget something important that he wants to do. but of course I'll be keeping track of things. And
Let me tell you one thing. When you're friends and when you're working together, it's two different things.
yeah, I have a lot of experience.
So don't live in this fantasy that we can be good together forever. So very supportive. Especially
Actually,
when you organize, when you have a very, you have a big task to look after, you're responsible for something. And working as a team player and as a friend is separate things. It's totally different.
yeah.
Okay, I think the point is well made. Shall we move on to other questions? Yes.
Yeah, it's about something that I've been quite frustrated about for the past 3.5 years. What do you think? Do you think UMSA needs a name change to remove the M?
Personally, I believe that they should remove the M. But apparently, Henry was talking with Moira, the new president for UMSA, and there are divided opinions about whether they are trying to merge back with us. Personally, I don't think we should merge with the Singapore Society, so let this be straight. Like no merger. No merger. But apparently, the current committee, they are quite supportive of this idea. So merge. So I mean, not our committee, the Singapore Society. They want us back, like because they're so big, they're so small. So
You guys are doing nice together.
Yeah.
so I think it might be a bit difficult. So I mean, we'll try to see whether we can go along the constitution or something. But yes, I agree. The Malaysian word shouldn't be there. Too many Malaysians go over there.
Okay. Other questions? Yes, David?
I've got 2 questions, if that's allowed. I'd like to pick up on the comment that you just said that too many Malaysians go over to UMSA. The question is that a problem? That's one. Wait, don't answer that. Number 2, I'd like to bring up a point that you mentioned in your manifesto. It says here, I will also seek to lay down standard operating procedures to ensure continuity of our efforts. Which operating procedures in particular now you think could be improved? What did you have in mind when you wrote this sentence down? And which particular operating procedures do you think, or did you have in mind that necessarily need to be continued in this standard way?
Okay. I'll put the first question aside first. Second question. So the first part of the second question. I'm not involved in the committee now, so I don't know what's lacking. So that's why I didn't say I want to write down all the SOPs that is current now. Or I'm saying that whatever we are going to implement during our role, so the blogs, the Facebook, Twitters, the outreach, everything, I will make sure that everything will be well documented and so that we can pass it on. So that we don't have very distinct committees year by year where they try and create new things and then next year another new things. So back to the first question, it's not a problem, but it encourages the Singapore Society to keep the M. So yeah.
I believe you had a question, David?
Yeah, so now going back to the newsletter question. Okay, so you might not have seen it this year, but then when I was secretary, I actually did a newsletter and I actually had that part on all the news back home. So now, but my general question is this really. So for the newsletter, my experience is that not that many people actually read it. In fact, if you said at first we started once a week, no one really cared. Twice a week, no one really cared either. So it's more like because it's sort of like so many emails, you got just one extra email that comes out. So now reflecting back to your idea, your this small project, what would you think from looking from this experience?
Personally, it's just my own project because I believe that people should be more in Malaysia news, not necessarily politics, just news. So I know that there's this general sense of property. So that's precisely what this newsletter is trying to do. If it doesn't reach its goal, then too bad. But yeah, but it's my own I wish to do this so that people will
Well, I mean, I would suggest that maybe from my experience or these experiences, perhaps you know what I mean, maybe not an email, maybe something else. I don't know. So, I mean, your idea it is good, but it's sort of like, you know, my experience says that it doesn't really work. But
So there's this about, I hope that once we get once we start off, we can try to invite students to submit things. It might be very difficult, but not really any special things, but let's say what you're working on, what are you studying, or anything like related to your, especially postgrads, like what are they working on, maybe they will share with the whole community, so they can fill in, they might actually interest other people to read the thing as well.
Yes, Richard.
Just to add on to that point about inviting students to contribute, the reason why none of you have seen any newsletter this year because newsletter is rubbish. I have never seen a newsletter last year, so I didn't believe that emails actually work. But on that point about contributing articles and stuff, I believe Leong Kim has laid out the foundations, the infrastructure for this thing called the Malaysian Musings. It's supposed to be on the website where everyone contributes articles and you can see stuff. But unfortunately, we didn't have much commitment from the supposed editor this year. But that's probably something you can explore. Just a suggestion.
Yes, Junior.
It's not really a question, but like just two small points. Actually, UMSA did it last year. The newsletter thingy fortnightly. Last year, Yujia is the person who did it, and she accepted contributions. And actually, within UMSA it worked. But then after that, the subsequent secretaries didn't continue the plan. You can ask her for guidance also if you want. Then for the postgraduate science research stuff, I think actually Andrew is doing it.
Scientific Malaysia.
Yeah, Scientific Malaysia online journal. You can ask him about that as well. Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, if not, should we thank Khai on stage?